For future comments, if I missed any info said in the movie, I apologise in advance. My cinema experience wasn't, well, great. Keep watching to find out and enjoy the video. Okay, I'm gonna be honest here. My history with Sonic is very basic. Like, I know of the games. The ones I played when I was a wee lad was only Sonic Heroes on the GameCube. Back in the day, that was my jam. Sonic Heroes, Sonic Heroes. Oh, never gonna forget that intro. The only Sonic cartoons I grew up with was mostly Sonic X. Yep, good old Sonic X, dubbed by the one and only 4Kids themselves. Gotta go fast. Gotta go faster, faster, faster. I mean, I am familiar with the older cartoons, like the ones with the Sonic Says PSAs, and the one that was actually more like a serious, like, adventure cartoon, and Sonic Underground. I've heard of that one, but I've never seen that as a kid. And I've seen bits of Sonic Boom, and that's as much as I know in terms of Sonic. For the majority of the video, I'll keep myself spoiler free, but I will get into spoiler territory later on in the video. So don't worry, I'll leave a timestamp here, just to let you know when I talk about spoilers, and I'll also warn you again before I get into them later on, so you've been warned. Now again, if I miss out any information said in the movie, I apologise, because my right ear in the cinema was being drowned out by what I call I.T.S. It's ignorant talking spectators. It wasn't kids, because if it was, I wouldn't be talking about this, because it's just kids being kids. These were grown adults. They kept talking throughout the entire movie. So I had to cover my right ear for more than several times to zone them out, to hear what's being said. I mean, I could follow the story no problem, but I wanted to hear what the characters were saying. Now, you're probably wondering, well, why didn't you say anything? Well, I couldn't be asked with telling people to shut up in a cinema. You know, when the film plays, you should automatically be quiet. I shouldn't have to say it. It should be basic knowledge. Now, if you're like a little kid, that fair enough, you're a little kid. But if you're a grown adult, you shut up. When the lights die down, the film starts playing, shut up. Turn off your phone, don't talk. If you want to talk about a scene in the movie, briefly, fine, do it quietly. Not in normal level conversation voice. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's in the Bible. Thou shalt not speak when the movie plays in thy cinema. Also, for the first Sonic movie, I'll keep it brief. I thought it was meh. Not bad, not great, but it was a step in the right direction. It just need to have more, well, what people want in an actual Sonic movie. So Robotnik's back and teams up with Sonic. No, he doesn't. What am I saying? No, he doesn't. So Robotnik's back and he teams up with Knuckles, the last of the Echidna clan, to retrieve the Master Emerald, and he believes that Sonic is the key to retrieve it. So Sonic and Tails now have to set out and stop Robotnik from getting it. So we got to see Knuckles pretty early in the movie, because I feared that we'd be waiting like 20-30 minutes just from the show up the first time. Because you know what happens, they introduce a new character in a movie, but you gotta wait so long for them to actually show up. But no, they actually went, nah, just give him Knuckles right away. So that's nice. I do have to say, it is nice seeing this version of Knuckles again. Like, I may not be too familiar with the franchise, but even I am aware of, like, the characterization change in Knuckles over the years. Like, in the later franchise games or TV shows, he becomes the more, you know, the dumb meathead of the group. So it's nice seeing this version of Knuckles back in action on the big cinema screens. His voice, portrayed by Idris Elba, hopefully I said that right, he did a great job with the voice. It fits the character's model, it looks great, he sounds great, it is awesome.
Do I look like I need your power?
We also got to see Tails as well, and he's voiced by Colleen O'Shaughnessy. I am so sorry, Colleen. I cannot pronounce your last name, and I'm not gonna butcher it, so I'm just gonna call you Colleen. I am so sorry. She has been voicing Tails throughout the games and the show for numbers of years. So it's nice to see her come back and actually voicing this version of Tails in the movie. That's actually kind of cool. Get someone who's actually voiced a character before to voice the character in the movie. Genius, right? I know. And Tails looks great, and Colleen does a fantastic job voicing the character. Now, I'm not too familiar with Tails, but I'm aware that he's good with gadgets, so it was kind of cool seeing this in the movie and showing the highlights of what he can do with his technology. That's kind of neat. And of course, you got Jim Carrey back as Robotnik, and he is up the energy from his performance in the last film. Like, he was fun in the first one, But in the second one, he just upped it to like 11. Especially like later on in like the last third of the movie, he's like, nah, I'm gonna have a good old time. The action in the movie was a lot of fun. The animation of the characters was great, and I enjoyed the matchups with Sonic versus Knuckles. And I enjoyed the chase scenes where Knuckles is chasing Sonic and Tails. They're great. Also, as a bonus, there's less focus on the human characters, which is a step up, but it's still there in the second half, which I'll get into later on. I actually enjoyed the connection with Sonic and Tails. Like, they're almost like siblings, how Sonic's trying to keep an eye on Tails and watch out for him. And he kind of understands where Tails is coming from, because Sonic himself has struggled with being alone, especially like when he was alone on Earth, he didn't really have anyone relatable to him. So I like that dynamic with these two. And also that could be said with Sonic and Knuckles, how they're kind of like had their own similar paths and fate on the same coin. Okay, that's some good points to the movie. Now for the downsides. Some of the jokes in the movie are kinda hit and miss for me. Like, don't get me wrong, I know Sonic likes to throw quips at his enemies and stuff, but some of them kinda fall flat, while others were, actually kinda worked. And it's not just towards Sonic either, like, a lot of characters seem to be given these, quippy one-liners and stuff, so it's feeling like a MCU movie. Now, I know the MCU did not create that trope, but it just feels like every character has to have that sort of snappy kinda, oh, here's one liner here, here's another one, and another one. Like, Sonic doing that, that's totally fine, that's his gimmick. But not every character has to do that. Also, maybe it's just me, but I feel like Tails was sidelined a bit in this movie. Like, yeah, he joins in the adventure with Sonic, but I just feel like he doesn't have much to do, particularly in the second half of the movie. I mean, true, it does focus more on Knuckles and Sonic a bit more than Tails, which I totally understand and I'm totally for, that makes sense. But I just wish they gave Tails more to do in the second act. And the wedding subplot feels like it was only there to eat up time and give the human characters something to do. I'll get into detail later on in the spoiler section, but I just feel like it was putting the story to a halt and kinda dragged on way too long. Same can be said about the bar scene, but at least there, you can get something of substance. I'll explain the spoilers. Okay, I'm gonna go into spoiler territory, so again, if you don't want to be spoiled, go to this time here, and move away. See you at this point in time. When Sonic and Tails are searching off for the compass for the Master Emerald, they wound up at a bar, and it leads to a weird dance-off scene, and I just felt like it kinda went on too long, or it just felt really awkward. Like, I get it was freezing cold, and they need somewhere to stay to, not freeze to death, and somewhere to sleep. And I get that maybe the dance-off was to, create some conflict just to get the map back, or like, it was just something for the kids to enjoy, but I just felt like it dragged on a bit, and I feel like it didn't lead to anything. But it did give us a show of Tails' gadgets and a little insight to Tails' backstory. Maybe instead of like a dance-off, maybe it was like an all-out brawl with Tails showing off his variety of gadgets and just seeing what he can do and what, he's capable of. But, and again, the first movie had a bar fight scene, so I can maybe see why they didn't. I don't know, I just felt like it went on a bit too long, and it was just not really fun to watch, just really dragging on. That's just me. Okay, the wedding subplot I really did not care for. Like, the starting point was fine, we get to see Sonic and Tails meet up with Tom and Maddie, that's fine. They get captured by the government, okay, that's fine. But then it suddenly steers away from the conflict and, the urgency of Tails and Sonic to Maddie's sister and her new husband who is a agent. And it goes on for like 15 to 20 minutes. It's like, oh my god, who cares? Nobody cares. Like, if you were to cut off from when Maddie and her sister split off, and then cut back to Maddie saving Tails and Sonic and Tom, you would not miss anything important. Like, I know they gave the sister more screen time, which I guess she was a riot in the first one, but I just didn't find her funny. And her whole segment with her husband, I just did not care for it. I just felt like it took away from the actual story and the urgency of what was happening somewhere else. With Sonic and Tails, or Robotnik and Knuckles. Okay, we got to see Super Sonic in this movie. I'm not gonna lie, that was kinda cool. I am familiar with that form, but I felt like, in terms of a story, it kinda came out of nowhere. Like, there was no build-up, no, like, foreshadowing, it was just there. Unless it was explained during the exposition about the Master Emerald in the Owl Temple. But again, I might have missed that because, thanks, I remember the hologram of Longclaw saying something like, Sonic has power within him like no other, or something like that. Was that the foreshadowing? Or was that just about his speed? Like, don't get me wrong, it was cool seeing Supersonic. It was actually kind of cool. But I just felt like it lacked any build-up or any actual, like, you know, foreshadowing for it to actually come back to play later on, you know? Now, the post-credit scene. I'll admit, I got a bit hyped seeing my boy Shadow. I remember him from the games and snippets from Sonic X, but I actually don't know much about his backstory. Like, apparently it's really tragic. So, that'll be interesting. Like when I was a kid, he was my favorite character in the series. Why? Well, I liked his color scheme, his rogue, angsty attitude, and him being Sonic's kinda evil counterpart, or darker counterpart, no pun intended. Though, I'll be honest, I thought they were gonna pull the Metal Sonic card first, and then Shadow, but I'm not complaining. If you wanna go with Shadow, be my guest, just make sure you do it right, you know? I can't wait to see him in Sonic 3. For his voice-wise, some said Keanu Reeves, which would be kind of funny. But I personally think they should go with Jason Griffith, who's voiced Shadow in the games and Sonic X.
Vengeance won't change the past. Mine or anyone else's.
But it's not up to me. I just pray they hopefully get someone that fits the character and not just a guest celebrity voices blank. And they just play as themselves, as a hedgehog. I hate that marketing tactic. It is so annoying. So we may be getting an actual Sonic Cinematic Universe. An SCU, if you will. A SKU. I mean, if they play the cards right, this could be an interesting franchise. Though I'm a bit hesitant about Robotnik if he returns or not, because Jim Carrey has said that he might retire after Sonic 2. But he did say if the script is good, he might come back for Sonic 3. So yeah, that's a little something to think about. But honestly, I am open to a Sonic Cinematic Universe, like, go for it. As long as you keep doing the right thing and, you know, listening to the fans and, you know, giving them what they actually like, they'll be fine. Funny that, you give fans what they actually want and they'll actually enjoy the product. Funny how that works. Though I am wondering, what other characters will we see in the future? Only time will tell. But overall, I happily enjoyed this movie. It is steps up from the first one, tons of fun action, much more focused towards the Sonic characters, and it feels more like a genuine Sonic movie. I recommend you check it out for yourselves and see what you think. This has been Drew, those were my views, and I bid you adieu.